Okay, my name is Joseph Tilemala, and I'm going to take you through the first part of this course, YEESI100, which is called Problem Solving and Problem Design with Python. So at the end of the course, we expect to achieve the following three objectives. One is to familiarize with approaches to problem solving and how you can apply such approaches in software engineering methods. The second objective is to implement program using high-level program. Programming has, all these languages has some do operate at a lower level and some do operate at a higher level. I'm sure for those who did, IT courses know that you can have some programs that work at a higher level using some interpreters, and some do work at a lower level using some compilers. So because Python is a high-level programming language, then we expect you to gain those insights into higher-level programming. And then you can develop an understanding of the procedural and object-oriented programming. And for the most part of object-oriented programming, I'm going to cover it with my colleague. So in this course, as I'm told that we have students from various backgrounds. Some do have background in IT and computer in general, and others do not have. So to be on the same page, I thought we could start with the Python installation. Python has two versions. There is version 2, which is called Python 2, and there is this version 3, which we're going to use in this course, called Python 3. So the installation of Python varies from platform to another platform. The one in Windows and the one in Linux, the one in iOS, they have a little bit difference, but you get them all from the official website of Python. So you hit straight to Google and Google for Python download, and you can be able to follow the procedure. I'll show you in a minute. Again, we have to look at the editors. The editors that are used for Python. There's tons of them. We can't mention them all here. I'm for the most part interested in the Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter Hub that we're going to use in this course. But you might want to look at PyCharm. This is one of the best editors you may find out there. You just go straight to Google, for instance, and search PyCharm. You see it is one of the wonderful programs. It's provided by JetBrains. So you can go straight here. If your network is fine, you might be able to download it. It is one of the wonderful tools for working with Python. But anyway, you're not going to use that at the moment. We're going to use Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Hub. Or for this case, it's Jupyter Notebook. So let me take you through the installation of Python, and then I'll come to the installation of Jupyter. But if you are not able to work with Jupyter or to install Jupyter on your own, you can use the one that's provided by YEESI Lab. You hit straight here, and then you can log in, and then you can proceed with working with Jupyter. So you don't need to worry about installation. Now let's worry about the installation of Python itself, and then we can continue from there. So to install Python, of course, this computer is already installed with one, so I will just show you a bit of it. You hit straight to Google and search for Python download or Python installation. Once you're here, you see a website called python.org. Then click it. Once you're inside, for the most part, the system will identify which platform you're using. But for the most part, you can just go straight to downloads and then go to Windows if you're using Windows, or Macintosh or Mac OS for those who are using Macintosh computers. and for other platforms like Linux and so forth. Since I'm going to demonstrate using Windows, then I can click to Windows, and then there are two releases. There's the one that's Python 3 and there's Python 2. Python 3 goes to several versions from 3.1, 2, 3, 3.4, 3.5, 3.8, 3.9, and currently it is 3.10, right? Which was just released December 6 last year. So just a few, just like a month ago. And if you want some previous versions like 3.9 or 3.9.8 and so forth, you can find a lot of them which are listed here. You don't need all those. You just need to get the latest version and then continue. So for this version, we're using 3.10, 3.10.1, which was released a month ago. And so there's a lot of other related things. You may want to go through them, but you don't really need to go to see what new features have been introduced. If you are new, you don't really need to go through this. So you can hit straight to the files, which is located almost down here. These two files here, if you're using a Windows which is 32-bit, then you need to choose Windows 32-bit installer or 64-bit. For this computer, I have 64-bit installer, and then you can download it. It's like 27 megabytes. So because I have one, I don't really need to download this. So I can pause this and I can show you the one I have in my downloads, and then I have this one. So once you have this, because I have one, then I don't need to take you through all these steps. So you can just click install and then make sure to check this one checkbox which is called path. Add it to path. Okay. After you have added to path, then just allow the installation to complete and then restart your computer for it to start working. After you have restarted your computer, then well, don't need this, I want to cancel. So then you can come to the command prompt and check to see if Python has been installed on the computer. How do you check? You go to the command prompt by typing CMD, or whichever way you could type, but it should be command prompt. After you have opened that, you can just type in Python. If Python is installed on your computer, you will see it is mentioning the version of the Python itself, and you can type help or you can type whatever to proceed. But let me just try to write a very simple program here to print hello. So you just say print, you put bracket, and you put quotation and say hello, yes, 100. Remember to close your brackets, or to close the quotes and close the brackets. And if you press enter, you can see the message is displayed. So that shows that we have Python in our machine. So make sure when you're installing to get to this point, otherwise you won't be able to work with Python if you don't have Python in your computer. All right, so that was the first stage. The second stage now is to be able to install the editors. You can't always be writing your code on this black screen here. You need an editor. For some of you, I think, or for most of you, I think you have an idea of what an editor is. There's a lot of editors for Python and any other language like Java or C or whichever other languages. But for Python, as I said, we have PyCharm, which is one of the famous editors. We have Jupyter Hub. We have a lot of other like Wing and so forth. Now we are going to use Jupyter Hub or Jupyter Notebook for this case. And how do you install Jupyter Notebook in your computer? Though, as I said, you have access to this system here. You can hit straight here if you are within the SUAS network. You can go straight to this address, and then you can provide. I think the coordinator has given you the credentials to log into to this system, and then you can proceed writing the code. Or if you're outside the SUA network, then you can use this address. Now let me try to show you, if you, in case you don't want to log in here, you just want to use it within your computer. So what do you do to install Jupyter Notebook? in your computer. So go straight to the command prompt. There are several ways. You can Google how to install. Jupyter Notebook in Windows. If you're not sure, or if you can't remember, there's a lot of stories about how to install, but go straight to jupyter.org, right? Once you're here, there are several ways you can install Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook itself. I want to show you with Jupyter Notebook. What you can do with Jupyter Lab, they normally don't have a difference. And if you're interested in the difference, you can just Google the difference between the two. And you might want, or you might learn as you move with these higher levels of programming in Python. But let's go use the Jupyter Notebook. And you can install through several ways. One way is through Mamba, or the other is through Conda. But I would like you to install through pip. Okay, pip is, once you install Python, it's already installed as well. But if you try to install using Conda or Mamba, you have to install Conda first before, or Mamba first before proceeding to install Notebook. So use this command here. So go straight to, we need to exit from Python. So we go back to our path, and then we can say pip install Notebook. Anyway, this won't run or won't work because I do have Notebook already installed in my computer. So it will just check and see everything is fine. So it will just not show you anything interesting. So how do you initiate? How do you start this editor, which is Jupyter Notebook? So to start Jupyter Notebook, just type on the command prompt Jupyter Notebook. It will open in a browser. So that's the difference. It's not like these other editors where they have a special, or they have a designed interface. For this one, they just simply use your browser. So you have something like this. This is the interface. So you can create a new folder, and it will be shown here, right? We are in this folder, right? We are in this folder. So you can add some files. You can create a new Python file, okay? And then you can continue programming like print, and with Python, you can use single quote or double quote. As I said, hello, yes, 100. And once you click run here, it will show you the output. So this is quite straight. You don't really need to have, a separate software that is installed. Instead, you can use your browser, okay? So we can leave, and you don't need this, I don't need you, and I think we are here. Now, I have prepared this. All my presentation is prepared in Jupyter Hub or in Jupyter Notebook. So I don't have slides. I'll take you through this in a simple way. So get ready to get your hands dirty.